Attention gamers, here is 8 minutes of off-meta bot lane comps that are actually 200 IQ, let's do it. Starting off with one of the most easy to execute kill lanes in the game, you have the floppy donkey dick ears salamander and teenage Marty McFly of the Rift, and the idea is you clench them cheeks till they cramp at level 1 and concede everything, and then at 2 you unload those built up blue balls with a double dash flattened dat ass combo which is almost no counterplay. Either they burn sums and you rinse repeat the ratchet run down 13 seconds later, or they die. Or in this case they do both, which brings me to my next point, in that this works best against lanes that have little CC or peel, aka pistol popping pirates with e-girl kittens attached to their perky nips is ideal. It is just magnetic to making enemy carries AFK early and rolling thick boy snowballs to carry those board certified morons you always get on your teams. And it only gets worse for the little piggies as the game goes on, because adding stuns to the speedrunning them back to the graveyard combos as well as your ults give you all the tools you need to take one look at their tier 1 turret and say no thanks. I'm going to continue on with our regularly scheduled programming as you can just feel the silicon sadness leaking out of that Miss Fortune's bra as she becomes the poster child for antidepressant commercials all over the world. And the best part is that Fizz tits and the time twat both scale incredibly hard, so the second the neighbors come down to see what all the fuss is about, you politely say it's not fuss, it's Fizz you dumb kumquats, and then you just take a tap dance on your keyboard and collect your free win. Our second comp is the super suppression that cures my solo queue depression when I want to hop in a game, abandon all rational strategies, tier lists or metas dictating this game, because I am in the mood to stare a half man half bear half pig in the eyes and say I don't care what you are. You are coming with me because my friend the floating Aladdin behind me wants to ruin your day. And that's really all there is to it. You and your friends decide who on the other team you want to piss off, and then you go grab that person and cuck him in an overkill of cooldowns. The Scorpion gets the short end of the stick on this one because a supporting Skarner stuck in a lane away from his king of the hill points on the map is milquetoast, but don't let your envy of the Mals cause you to pull bad guys out of his piss puddle, because that's important. So to all the investors out there, go buy stock in QSS because the demand for that shit will skyrocket in these games, and by the end it's honestly better to equally distribute the suppressions among the losers like you are the damn stimulus check on the Rift, because when it comes to League, pissing off multiple people always tops pissing off just one, and you can take that to the bank. Alright, next we have the little leprechaun that could, supported by Barry the Bull, and don't let this odd looking couple fool you as the chemistry between them is arousing. It's all about Tiny Dumbledore's circle of shame. If they run into the side themselves they get rewarded with a post bounce into dead bitch and base combo, and if they are one of those stubborn shitters you just have milk duds, give them the gentle nudge they need to get ass blasted and graveyard got by this off meta bot. There's endless possibilities that come out of the caged cow disengage combos that will surely end in some enemy rage. Just remember that more CC equals more GG, and there's so much CC here you'd think the whole lane is a spam email. And just remember, when the waters get murky, you don't carry around a life-sized 4-leaf clover to not test your luck, and I promise by the end of the day you will be bouncing around and smoking Twitter simps like a bong in a frat boy's basement. Now the next comp may look familiar as it was featured in one of my recent videos, but basically Ice is back with a brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly, flow like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know, turn off the lights, and I will glow. Ice Ice Baby is the name, and despite the combo lacking full global potential without some purgatory autos at the end, it honestly never gets old. Double blue to cure the solo queue blues. With this one the Frosted Hawk sends out a cube, and then you cold claw Uber your way in to craft a perky titted popsicle that you can feed off of all game. Now the ice cube can be hard to land since it moves slower than a paraplegic sloth, but luckily a little wall is all you need to start the brawl, so either way it's really your call. And I do have to say, enemies really overestimate how effective they are at below freezing temperature, as they will constantly try their luck wanting to hang because Rift Alexa is making you sound cool, but really you are cold and they are dead, so don't hesitate to take glow in the dark dragonflies and test how they perform in colder climates. Okay, now this next comp relies on a bit of coordination, so if your duo is currently drunk or just dumb, we all have those friends, this is not the one to try. But basically both of these champs have a button that allows them to tell death to piss off, and executed correctly it can lead to some statues feeling like they aren't given the respect they deserve. It's worth noting that Kindred should ult first, and then once everyone on the immortal dance floor is butt naked and ready to get raw dogged, you let Taric announce that you will be pitching and they will be catching. Another small synergy here is that Taric's bedazzled stiffy stun can be positioned with a Kindred hop to secure that CC. Okay, time to whip out the cum rag socks because it's about to get messy with this next one. It turns out if Kirby sucks in a bronze ballerina and a walking cat turd, The combo forms something known as the wombo, and there's no recovering from a douche dash into titty twister duet. Build ability haste and let those ult cooldown timers serve as the countdowns to your next dead bitch bonanza, as this is a pretty hard combo to screw up, and it becomes even harder for the enemy to exist when you have a 600-pound boulder hand delivering orb twists. Now the giant punching clump of kitty litter can build tank, but we found it more enjoyable to go straight AP, as it gives the poke a little bit more sting, which allow the two of you a bit of variety in your methods for absolutely pissing the shit off of their AD carry. And as the game goes on, you won't always need to get your ults laid together, as holding them for a more diversified portfolio of peel will come in handy at times. But when you do decide to pair that Malphite peanut butter with late game Ori jelly, it'll have those sandwich shitters feeling real stupid, like they are totally inbred. Now this next comp is one that sounds appetizing on paper, then you worry you are both melee and that this shouldn't work, and then you realize that thou who tanks shall also spank when it comes to League of Legends. So this comes down to two lowly outcasts from Antarctica matching on Tinder because they are both Blizzard bulky beefcakes and with passives that accumulate stacks on kids to cube them in ice, as the strategy literally turns into running at enemies and hoping for the best. Before items it can get a little this punch smells pissy sus status, but trust in the tankiness you have in your kits and those clenching moments will pass. Once one of you makes any contact whatsoever with the anorexic gun slut trying to share a lane with you, it basically becomes a CC chain so long you could fit it around John Travolta's neck, and I don't have to tell you that an ADC is not surviving 6 straight seconds of Stunnyville. That said, you won't have enough damage to kill pretty much anything but their carry, so I would recommend putting a bit of AP Magic Mike stripper pants on the Warthog Rider. But it really doesn't matter once team fights break out, because running around distributing hypothermia to all enemies alike as your co-workers who can actually do damage can just go freely shattering the dead bitch icicles that you are producing makes your win condition merely to exist and be annoying in the middle of chaos, which is something that even the most hard stuck of us dumb fucks can manage. And last but certainly not least, my personal favorite bot lane comp of all time, Lorganics. Now for those of you uneducated viewers thinking I am dumb enough to accidentally edit in a face reveal, this is not me, this is Heisman. And before I cover the last combo, if you enjoyed these duo comps and would like to see more, we run a new off-meta bot lane comp every single day on our second channel Rav and Heis, so please subscribe to that if you want to see other nonsense that we run to give us a break from the usual try-hard piece of piss pit meta culture this game breeds. But anyways, the Snare Sisters is one of the classics. Basically 1 snare 2 snare perma snare take care is all you will be doing all game, because if one of you lands your bind, the other gets a free conformity CC, and then they kind of just sit in the crystal cage dick in hand awaiting their depressing demise. All it takes is 1 Q for them to start their QQ, and before you know it you will be saying GG. And after a while you will both be so fed that stacking the sparkling jail cells won't be necessary, as you can equally distribute to optimize your homicide side hustle that you do together after work. And by the end of the game the cooldowns are so short that if 1 stun lands, you can basically keep them in a cage permanently until their cab arrives to take them back to Fountain. Let me know in the comments your favorite bot lane comp, and if you want to see a part 2, please like this video and subscribe for more. Rav out.
Gravy boy, I'm in your crib with the blappy boy. Talk to me slick and I'm popping your pappy. If happy talk back, then I'm taking your Grammy, and boy oh boy I'll make her happy.